it looks like it's noon. We'll go ahead and kick off because we have some important business to cover today, and we're on a tight time frame. So we're going to, I guess I should back up and say welcome. Welcome to our May 17th meeting of the Overland Park Rotary Club. Now we're going to speed ahead and try to fit everything into this hour that we have some great things to share today. Let's start with our moment of inspiration. Nate?
All right. I have some words of wisdom today. When we regularly take time to be still and listen carefully, we strengthen innumerable wholesome qualities in the heart and mind, lay a foundation for living, and cultivate powerful seeds of insight and compassion. These are the words of Oren J. Sofer in his publication, Why Can't I Get to the Cushion?
Thank you, Nate. Those are great words for us to keep in mind on this Monday. Let's move on to the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand and join me as you're able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we have some very important scholarship recipients with us today, and they're on a limited schedule because they have finals right now. So I will turn it over to Tim as we announce scholarships in honor of Dick Bond today.
Yes, thank you everybody for joining us on this very exciting recognition. And like Jimmy had mentioned, we're going to be sensitive to the time schedule since they have AP exams today. I'm honored as your foundation president to present 3 scholarships in memory of our late friend and fellow Rotarian, Senator Dick Bond. I'm not sure how many of you on this call can make this claim, but Senator Bond can actually be found on Wikipedia, so you can read more about his life and career. He served in the Kansas Senate from the 8th District from 1986 to 2001 and served as Kansas Senate President in 1997. I realize that many of you on this call today can make your own claims of stories and impact and humor in connection with Senator Bond. I can only share with you a few of my own personal and meaningful interactions. Senator Bond was a fierce advocate for and believer in education. This is one reason it seems most appropriate to honor his memory through scholarship. His signature is actually on my doctoral diploma from the University of Kansas from when he served on the Kansas Board of Regents. I always told him that it was one signature that probably meant the most to me. Dick was also a great encouragement and support to me surrounding the adoption of our youngest daughter, Kate. I always had to allow a little extra time when I met with him for new stories or jokes that he had to share. I'm pleased to welcome Senator Bond's wife, Sue, of which I know she bettered his life since they married in 1958, and his daughter, Amy, is also joining us today. Thank you both for being here. Sorry that it's not in person. And I'd also like to welcome Kelly Lillis, the Shawnee Mission South High School counselor and Interact sponsor. This year, the foundation is pleased to provide scholarships to graduating seniors who exemplify the values of Rotary while demonstrating strong academic performance. Due to our recent partnership with the Shawnee Mission South High School Interact Club, it seemed fitting to recognize Interact students nominated by their faculty and sponsors. The foundation board reviewed the applications of 3 outstanding students who will be awarded the Senator Richard Bond Memorial Scholarships. These 3 young leaders were all actively involved in starting and leading the Shawnee Mission South Interact Club, and each demonstrate service above self. Kathleen Hebel is the vice president of the Interact Club. Give us a wave there. One of her recommendations stated, Kathleen has a deep commitment to bettering the lives of others. She has an ethic of care and empathy. She is a person working diligently to make her world a better, healthier place. She has volunteered extensively and authentically in our school and local community throughout her high school experience. Oscar Kariuki. Give us a wave, Oscar. He serves as the co-vice president of the Interact Club. I worked with Oscar at the volunteer event at this fall at Mercy and Truth. A comment from someone who knows him sums up his character. Oscar is an extremely hardworking, dedicated, natural leader who excels at working well with and giving back to others. And finally, Jocelyn Trujillo is the Interact Club president. She must be in an exam right now. And so I'm sorry she couldn't join us, but she's quite a young lady. She stated in her application, Interact Club means much more to me than just an extracurricular activity that can be written on a college resume. It has allowed me to gain personal integrity, build confidence, create friendships that I would have otherwise not done so. One of her recommendations stated Jocelyn has demonstrated drive, grit, determination, and outstanding leadership. I wish everybody on this call today had the chance to read these applications and their recommendation letters. They were powerful and moving. We had planned to offer each of these remarkable young people $1,500 scholarships each. I'm excited to let you know that an anonymous individual provided additional funding to increase these scholarships to $2,500 each.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
We are very, very excited, and it's a tremendous way to remember Senator Bond and to recognize the next generation of young people dedicated to service above self. So with that, I just wish you great congratulations. We're very, very proud of you. If you've got just a moment, I want to be sensitive to your schedule. We hope someday you'll consider participating in our club, join our club, at least come and visit us. We would love it very much. But would you have a moment to just share quickly what your future plans are?
Sure. I am attending the University of Arkansas next fall, and I plan to major in international business.
And I hope you guys can hear me, but I'll be attending Washington University in St. Louis, and I plan on majoring in accounting and finance. And I just got word that there's a Rotary Act in St. Louis, so I'll also be looking to join that as well.
It looked like Tim's connection may be stalled. So I'll jump in here and just say a big congratulations to Katie, Oscar, and Jocelyn. And it couldn't be, your connection with Interact has been a wonderful for our club as well as for Shawnee Mission South. We know that, and we're glad to have that connection. I would also say that congratulations, like Tim said, and what great honor to have them in honor of Dick Bond, because he lives on in this club. He has a long legacy and means a lot. So that's wonderful. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yay.
Sue and Amy, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Mom, did you want to say something?
Well, the main thing I was happy to meet them, but also I was curious of what their next step was. And so that was a question that they answered for me. And I just want to wish them lots of good luck because.
Thank you so much.
I know I can speak for Katie and Jocelyn and say that it's been a pleasure to work with you guys, and we've enjoyed the continued support you guys have shown us. And I hope from the lessons we've learned, we can continue translating it onto our future activities.
Thanks, Oscar.
Well, likewise. And good luck on PP finals.
Yeah.
Thank
good
you.
luck.
Right, we'll transition back to our meeting now, and I guess that takes us up to visitors. I know we have Sue and Amy that joined us for a while today. Anyone else that's joining us? Any other visitors? No? All right, let's move on to club or committee updates. We've done the scholarship application. Lori, did you have anything in membership? Is she on today? Okay, I don't hear anything from Lori. Service projects. Mike, are you on? Mike Meyer? There were some wonderful pictures and updates in the e-spoke with over 250 military families served. I thought that was very impressive. I hope everyone got a chance to see that. Well, I'll share with you some other celebrations we have for club members. Bob Wilson has a birthday on May 18th, so cheers for Bob. Anniversaries. Dustin and Erica Lewis, 25 years. Congratulations. David and Pat Austin, 30 years. Congratulations to you. Yay. And Dave and Bev White, 49 years. Congratulations, you guys. That's wonderful. Years in Rotary. Bill Eaple is at 10 years. Congrats, Bill. Greg Musel, 27 years in Rotary. Congratulations. And Barry Sullivan, 17 years in Rotary. So congratulations. Cheers to you all. Other updates, I know that book club meets tomorrow morning to discuss Hemingway. Any other updates? Carol, did you have anything else to share?
Is Mike Tracy on the phone call? Yeah. Mike, you're going to have, when's your next happy hour?
I was going to shoot for the 25th, every other Tuesday.
Okay.
And so, yeah, thanks. We'll keep meeting at Club 27. Beautiful place. Weather's only going to get nicer.
That's right.
5 o'clock. Please be there if you can come. Love to have you.
5 o'clock. Okay.
It'll stop raining by then.
Let's hope so. Oh my goodness. What about member good news? Any good news to share?
Jimmy, I'd be willing to share a bit of good news from our family here.
Sure.
And I was actually reminded of a gift from Rotary last week as we celebrated Harvey's first birthday on May 12th. And maybe a little belated to thank the entire group because it was a year ago, but we received a very nice flower arrangement with a little wagon in it, or it was in a wagon. And that has become one of Harvey's favorite toys.
Aww.
So, yeah, pandemic baby turned 1.
Oh, good. Wow. That went quick, didn't it? Well, congratulations. Good. That's awesome. Any other member good news to share? All right. Well, let's transition on to our speaker. I'd like to thank Travis Perret for stepping up last week to speak this week. So we look forward to hearing what Travis has to tell us. His presentation centers around 5 holistic health tips to ensure mobility, decrease pain, and increase vitality as you age. So Travis, with that, I'll transition to you.
Thank you. I have a little presentation, so how do I get to the point where I can share my screen?
Travis, you should just be able to hit share screen and go away.
There it is. Perfect. Let's get this so we can get it slide. There you go. So everybody can see that okay? Just thumbs up. Everybody can hear me okay? Cool. Perfect. I'm going to minimize myself here so I no longer can see anybody. So got one. There you go. So obviously, so if you have questions or anything like that as we're going through, you can just kind of shout them out. But just go over a little bit here about kind of, again, just from what I understand, you guys are looking for a speaker. I do a lot of speaking around town, so not afraid to do it. So I thought I'd do one over 5 holistic health tips to ensure mobility, decrease pain, and increase vitality as you age. Obviously talk a little bit about myself and who I am. I attended the University of Kansas. I got a degree in exercise science, which really was meant to be a pre-physical therapy degree. I ran track and field at the University of Kansas. I was a decathlete on the KU track team. And so once I finished my degree, instead of actually going right into physical therapy school, I thought it'd be cool to kind of, get out of the state of Kansas because I'm born and raised here and try to find someplace to work, California or something like that, Alaska, Florida, something like that. And I ended up finding a job in California that were hiring for my degree and moved out to San Diego, California. And basically it was a holistic physical therapy type clinic that was helping people with chronic pain. And so, my goal was just to kind of go out there and learn to surf, hang out on the beach, be like this Midwest kid, from Kansas out in California and just chilling and hanging out, right? And then work there a year or two, kind of build a resume a little bit, and then come back and apply to physical therapy school. But something happened that kind of derailed me with that. And basically about 10 months after working there, holidays came up, and basically I came home and my dad had back pain so bad that I walk in for Christmas and my dad's sitting in a recliner, lounging in a recliner. And I'm like, hey, get up, give me a hug. And he's like, man, I can't get out of this chair. My back's killing me. He was scheduled to have a fusion. He had a spondylolisthesis, is actually where the vertebrae kind of slide, and they were going to go in and fuse his spine, and they were going to go in there and put those screws in there. Hey, William, can you mute yourself?
Oh, sorry.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I hear you typing on the computer there.
I was muted.
And so, they were going to fuse his spine. They were going to put the plates in and the screws in and all that kind of stuff. And he'd had back pain since I was in high school, chiropractors a couple times a week, physical therapists, pain pills, all that kind of stuff. Well, as I'm talking to him, and, my dad's been a truck driver. He is a truck driver still. He actually works out of Lenexa at UPS, but he's a truck driver. He drives long haul trucks for UPS and, drives around the country in those big semi trucks. But he's been a truck driver since he was in his, mid-20s, late 20s, that kind of deal. And so my dad had that sitting position, that hip position where it was kind of tucked under. I always told him, he always had baggy pants, my dad did. And I'm like, Dad, you were born without a butt. I'm like, you got no butt muscles to hold your pants up. So your pants are always baggy, right? I used to give him a hard time. He was called it no butt disease, right? And I'm like, Dad, you got no butt disease. Well, from my education in exercise science, biomechanics, what I was learning in the holistic health field in California, when I came home and my dad was telling me about his pain, and I added, 1 + 1, back pain, spinal misalignment, and his hip issues, not having glute muscles, I kind of put those two together. And I'm like, Dad, I don't think you got back pain. I don't think you have a back problem. I think you've got a hip issue. And so, long story short, I convinced him. He was very reluctant, but I convinced him to let me work on him. I'm like, let me do some work on you. And he's like, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Well, I ended up I'm focusing on his hips, right? Focus on getting his hips better. End up fixing him. Literally, it took, 3 months or so, but in 3 months, it slowly got better and got better. But 3 months later, fast forward 3 months later, and he's literally like 95% pain-free. Never had the surgery. To this day, he's still a truck driver. He still has never had a back surgery, but it changed my life. I ended up working for this guy in California for 5 years, and then he opened a branch office in New York City, and I ran that office for him for 2 years. So I basically worked for this guy for 7 years, ended up not going to physical therapy school. After 7 years there, I moved back to the Midwest and opened my own clinic here in Kansas City. Thought it was time to move back to home, closer to family. And so I opened a clinic here, Exercise Therapy of Kansas City. Kind of started it off with working in a chiropractic office that, I'd met, and they were referring me clients and whatnot, and grew to opening my own facility. So now we're at 105th and Metcalf area, just about a block or so off of Barkley, and 1,100 square foot clinic. And so I'm very passionate about what I do. I've been doing it for over 20 years. I've seen some amazing things with people in chronic pain. When I fixed my dad, it changed my life. I started really focusing on how biomechanics and posture can help people with back pain. And so kind of fast forward again, after working with people and seeing so many people and clients, I started, I started really working on how can I educate people about what I do. And I started doing things where I appeared on local TV station here, like it was called KC Live, I think it was called, Better KC. The morning shows, they kind of fluctuate. I don't even know if they're still on or not, but because I'm usually working when they're on. But I did a couple of those shows, got interviewed with a couple of those shows, and started looking at going to local businesses, and talking about health and wellness organizations around Kansas City. And so just to kind of throw this out there, if anybody in the group, I know you're all part of businesses or own businesses or connected, but I love to do speaking engagements where we can come talk to the employees about health and wellness, how to prevent chronic pain, how to help chronic pain, how to function better, feel better. So if anybody's looking for a speaker to come to their business, let me know. But I've spoken to places like KCP&L, now Evergy, Jewish Community Center several times, Garmin, McGowan Gordon, obviously these big companies, Reuben Brown, the YMCAs. I've spoken to probably 10 to 12 of the YMCAs locally. Pro Athlete, which is considered one of the healthiest, most proactive, one of the top proactive companies in Kansas City when it comes to their employees. I've also, in my time in California and New York, I've worked with several professional athletes. Scott Wedman, who's a professional basketball player, he won 2 championships with the Boston Celtics. He's local. He's here from Kansas City. And Jennifer Capriati, the tennis player, Junior Seau, John Lynch, who's the head president of the San Francisco 49ers now, but back when he played with Tampa Bay and whatnot, Troy Glaus, World Series MVP baseball player, guys like that, Mark Brunell, Luke Walton. I worked with a lot of these guys because in California, when we were in San Diego, a lot of these guys would come in their off season to come train with us, come get their body functionally aligned. So then when they had the rigors of the sport, they could be healthy. A few years ago, I actually wrote a book and I self-published a book, actually in partnership with Rainy Day Bookstore, Vivian Jennings up there. She is a client, and I wrote a booklet one day and gave it to her, and she's like, man, you should write a book about this. And she's like, I can help you put this together. And so she actually helped me put together a book and sold it through her bookstore for 6 months or so, and then actually put it on Amazon, and it became a #1 bestseller on Amazon in the chronic pain section. So that was kind of awesome. Again, I'm a husband and father of 2 beautiful little girls, Sierra and Stella. Sierra had a birthday, not this weekend, but the weekend before. So she's 7 years old. And my Stella is 4 years old. So, okay, a couple of things, kind of get into some definitions of what we do that's different and some of the things you should focus on before we get to the main points of the tips for you is posture. Posture is the key, we believe, to the human body functioning and feeling good. But what is good posture, right? We look at shoulders, hips, knees, ankles. We're looking at how this alignment happens from ankle, knee, hip, shoulders, right? We want to look at how the spine has the proper S curve. It's not about sucking your abs in and flattening your spine. That's the incorrect posture. A lot of places, personal trainers, a lot of, physical therapists I've heard, telling a lot of their clients who have back pain that, tighten your abs, strengthen your core. Well, we actually disagree with that. We believe you got to look at how the whole body is working together to get the view of holistic posture. And we know this through the history of the human body, right? The human body has been around for, hundreds of thousands of years. And, but we were meant to be hunters and gatherers, caveman days, right? All that kind of stuff. But how do we know what good posture is these days? We can look at, the way we're supposed to be, the history of it. Kind of like, what do they say? The paleo diet, right? Where they're looking like you're supposed to eat like you did in the paleo times, right? Tubulars and fruits and da-da-da-da. Well, we believe kind of the paleo posture, right? We should look like we did 100,000 years ago because we were hunters and gatherers. Well, now we sit, computers, desks, life, injuries, all that happens. But we can train our muscles to get better posture. So it's not just about sitting up straight with good posture. It's about training your muscles to have your hips aligned right. Having the hips in the right position, that's important for posture, right? Posture is an indicator of what your muscles are doing. So as a therapist, and when we look at posture, it just tells us what muscular imbalances you have because muscles move bones, right? The fundamental idea of the human body, muscles move bones. So take, for example, this awesome, beautiful red Mustang, right? Look how beautiful this thing is. These were, how many hundreds of thousands of these came out in the, 60s and 70s and whatnot. But why does this one look so good? I've seen a lot of these Mustangs in the back of farmers' lots and in the pastures and in the junkyards, and they're all rusty and beat up. But why did this one look so good? Because they took care of it, right? Preventative care. They changed the tires before the tires went bad. They changed the oil. They fixed the paint job. They kept care of it, right? Just like we need to do with our body. Do you want your body, racing around in good shape in the future? Or do you want it broken down, right? What determines that, we believe what determines that more than almost anything else is posture. Posture is the key, right? If our alignment, if we're straight, hips are straight, shoulders straight, everything's lined up, we're going to function better. We're going to move better. There's going to be less stress on our knee joint if our knee is moving like it should. But if it's twisting because you have a foot that points out, well, then it's twisting. It's not meant to twist. Well, it's going to wear it down. It's going to break it down, right? Posture, we believe, is the secret weapon to get your body to move better and to function better. Okay, so this brings me to 5 holistic tips to ensure mobility, decrease pain, and increase vitality as you age. These are what I've found in my 25 years that are some of the most important aspects of people staying healthy and functioning like they should. First one's going to be drink lots of water, right? We know, oh, we should be drinking water, but I can almost guarantee you nobody drinks as much as they should. And when you think you're like, oh, I have a few glasses a day, well, you should probably be drinking like 10 glasses a day, right? Kind of varies depending on the person, but on average should be about 10 glasses a day. And so lots of water. And I know one of the complaints we get about people who say, well, if I drink lots of water, I got to go to the bathroom all the time. Well, you kind of consider that your exercise, right? You get up, you go, you take a break. You shouldn't be sitting at your computer for more than an hour anyway, right? But also, the more water you drink over a longer period of time, the more your body adapts to that, the less you actually have to go to the bathroom. So your body starts to learn to absorb it. When you first start doing that, though, it takes a while. So be proactive, be persistent, exercise every day, and find an expert to help you with what you're looking for. So drink lots of water. The importance of this is really it protects your tissues, your spinal cord, your joints, right? The majority of our body is actually water. Our cells are made up of water. It aids in digestion even. So it allows, your body to digest that better, to absorb your nutrients better. It can even help you. It's been scientifically proven to help you lose weight. That drinking more water can actually help you lose weight. Improves blood circulation. So if you're, having inflammation, if you've got knee pain, if you're like, oh, my old knee injury, or, I got my elbow issue, or my knees, I got arthritis everywhere. Increasing your water intake will actually help with blood oxygen circulation, which will help decrease the pains associated with that, right? Fights illness, boosts your energy. And like I said, it helps decrease inflammation. So be proactive. We find that people who are more proactive feel better and move better, right? You look at somebody and they're 85 years old and you're like, man, you look like you're 60s. Well, why is that? This person is probably more proactive about health and lifestyle than your general person. So you got to be proactive. Nobody's going to do it for you. There's no magic pill. You've got to do it yourself. You've got to be proactive to be healthy, right? There's no magic cure to fix aging, right? There's no way to reverse aging, but you can slow the process down. And that's by being proactive. And actually, these 5 tips will help you. There's a lot of things you can do out there to actually slow the process of aging down. Be proactive in your research. Be open-minded to that kind of stuff. There's always new things we're learning about the human body. And what we knew about the body 30 years ago has changed, right? We're always learning more stuff and new stuff about the body. So you got to be open-minded to new ways of getting help, new concepts. My grandmother is still alive. She's 93 years old. She's pretty hard set in her old ways, right? And, I try to tell her, you got to be open-minded to some of the new therapies, whether it's yoga or, eating differently, paleo diet, things like that. You got to be open-minded to that. I always tell people, you got to be persistent. Persistency is the key to feeling younger and being healthier. Persistent, right? You can eat healthy 2 days a week. Well, I got my example here. You could eat healthy 3 days a week. That's great, but 6 days would be better, right? You could exercise 3 days a week, but exercising 6 days a week would be better, right? And the more consistent you do it, the better off you're going to be. The human body works with consistency. That's really, the key to making us feel younger. And when you create that routine, you can stick to it more easily, right? Hey, I'm going to exercise. I'm going to walk, every day at this time. Be consistent with it. Be persistent and create that routine. Hey, these are the things, these are the snacks, the healthy snacks I'm going to have when I get hungry. because you're being persistent with it. You're creating that routine. Exercise every day, right? Now, that doesn't mean it has to be hard every day, but an exercise can be, hey, I went for a walk. I took my lunch break and I went for a 20-minute little walk down the street and back down the sidewalk. Exercise every day, right? Do some kind of movement. Exercise might be even a strong word for that, but some kind of movement every day. Hey, I go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Well, that's great, but what are you doing Tuesday, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, right? You could do some stretches, right? You could do some stretches. You could go for, maybe you don't have to go to the gym, but you can, take your dog on a walk or go on a walk with your loved one. Walking is the best exercise for the human body. That's why we got two legs. We've been walking for hundreds of thousands of years, right? Walking is the best exercise for the human body. Now, what if you have knee pain? You've got a knee replaced and you're like, well, man, I don't know if I should be walking. Well, you're probably right. That's kind of where it comes to the next thing is you got to find an expert to help you. If you've got chronic pain, you need to find somebody who's an expert at helping you with chronic pain. And I don't necessarily mean our traditional medical route, because you go to an orthopedic surgeon for back pain. Well, it's kind of like if you went to a Ford dealer, he's going to sell you a Ford, right? He's not going to sell you a Chevy. You go to a surgeon, they're going to tend to want to sell you a surgery. Now, obviously, there's lots of time. They're getting more open-minded every year, it seems like, and trying to find alternative ways. But he just fundamentally, he feeds his family on surgery, right? He makes $100,000 from a back surgery. It's just the way it is, right? But you can find other people out there that are experts that are more, again, holistic, more alternative-minded to it and whatnot. So if you want to work out better, find someone who can train you, right? If you want to work out, you want to be, stronger, more flexible, more mobility, find somebody who specializes in that kind of training. Not all personal trainers are the same, right? You need to find somebody that's specific to what you want to do. You want to eat better, find a nutritionist, things like that. You want to live better. There's coaches out there that are mentors, that are life coaches, things like that. So yeah, those are basically my 5 tips right there for people that, they want to move better and feel better and whatnot. So also just want to give you an opportunity, if you want to download a copy of my book for free, you can actually go to painfreelifebook.com and just type in your email there and we'll email you an actual digital copy of my book. It's got actual exercises in it and whatnot. It talks about our concept of better posture, better alignment, how it helps people with chronic pain and whatnot. If you've got a friend who's got chronic pain or something like that, you can send them that book or whatnot. We do free discovery visits here at the clinic. So if you're interested, if you do have pain or problems or anything and you have questions, we can always set you up and come in and do like some assessment, watch you do gait analysis, postural photos, kind of figure out what the underlying root cause of the problem is and discuss what needs to be done. We help people, again, with chronic pain live better, more fulfilling life. We also do personal training for people with, I always call it special needs, but special physical needs, like, hey, I've had a knee replacement and I can't do certain stuff. Well, we specialize in that. Hey, I've had back pain for a long time. I've got osteoporosis and I've got to be really careful about what I do, or I've torn a rotator cuff or things like that. We can work with that. Again, my name's Travis Perret. I own Exercise Therapy of Kansas City. Our website there is exercisetherapykc.com, and there's a phone number, my office number. If you have any questions or need anything from us, I'd be happy to help. So that's about all I got right there.
All right. Well, very good, Travis. Thank you. What questions do we have for Travis?
And I've got my application in to be a member. So I just sent that off this morning to Lori. So
great. Very
hopefully
good.
I'll be a member soon.
Wonderful. We look forward to that. Well, I have a question for you because I actually took a picture of your screenshot just to provide it to my husband, because we've had the drink the water conversation. And so we're on 2 different sides of that issue. And so when I asked him if he's drank water that day, he said, I had coffee, I had tea. So does that qualify? What can I relay back to him, Travis?
Basically, you're going to have to tell him no. Actually, coffee is a diuretic. Coffee, you have to subtract 3 cups of water for every 1 cup of coffee you drink. Whiskey and water doesn't count. Right? Taking a shower does not count as drinking some water. Right? Yeah, you've got to actually take your water, You got to have your water mug. You got to be, you got to carry it with you. And it's not about, don't chug a whole glass of water. It's about like, speaking of whiskey, it's about like taking a shot of water on a regular basis.
Okay, good. Thank you. Glad to know that.
Travis, this is Wayne Bird. I found in the water department, one way to increase my consumption is to eat fruits and vegetables that are heavy on water. For example, I love grapes and I like watermelon and numerous others. And the fiber, the material that makes up the grape, it helps to retain the water so it doesn't just run right through you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good way to do it. They also have water flavorers nowadays that have like no calories, no sweeteners, so if you just are like, man, I can't stand the taste of water or the no taste of water, they got those, you can add those. But food, eating the right kinds of food can help with hydration as well. So.
I have a question. What about sparkling water?
Ooh, you know what? I'm not for sure about sparkling water. I'd have to look that up. I don't know. Is there additives to a sparkling water?
There can be, not early.
Yeah, I mean, I would feel like is it sparkling? What makes it sparkling water? Is it carbonation?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard anything in my 20 years of doing this. I can't say I've heard anything negative about not doing sparkling water, so it might be okay.
Okay.
Hi, Travis. This is Scott Robinson. And I've got kind of a specific question. What would you recommend for, kind of lower back pain, something that someone could do at home before seeing a doctor? What would be some things to try out first before, taking that step?
I would say it depends on how bad it is, how bad the pain is. So obviously being careful with that. There are several, you could Google that, back pain exercise, but you got to be careful with that because is that person a trainer? And are they coming from a fitness background to address your back pain? A Pilates instructor are going to have different exercises. A physical therapist is going to have different exercises addressing that. The best thing would be to, in my book, literally there's 4 exercises in there for back pain. There's exercises in for knee pain, back pain, head pain. So as opposed to just telling you one of the exercises that are in there where you lie on your back and you put your legs up over like a chair or something at 90 degrees, it's called static back. The exercises we use are somewhat unique in that aspect, but you have to be careful. Like you wouldn't want to do crunches because even though you think, oh, I should have stronger abs, it'll help support my back. Sometimes that can actually make your back worse. I would check out my book at painfreelifebook.com and test those out. You could Google exercises for back, but again, I'm just hesitant with that because you got to be careful with that. But surgery should be your last option. Even if your doctor says it's the only option, it still should be the last option. You should try to do everything you can because once you've had surgery, that surgery is permanent and sometimes creates, when you go in and do something like that, it creates lesions and, inflammation. It just the healing process creates those. So you want to make sure you try to do what you can to fix it. Use that. And I'm not saying I'm not anti-surgery because sometimes it is what's needed. But you need to make sure you eliminate everything else before you actually have that process down. So I hope that answers your question without being too specific. Like I said, if you really wanted to get specific on what exercises would be best for you, well, that's what, I'd invite you to come in for a free discovery visit and I can actually look at you because everybody's different. I've literally worked on thousands and thousands of people with back pain. Everybody's different. Somebody might be an office worker, or a receptionist. One might be working a hairstylist, right? And she's on her feet all day long. Somebody might be a construction worker where they're, climbing up on ladders and they're having back pains. Like some might have heard it from football when they were a kid. Everybody is so different. You got to really look at each person uniquely about what specifically is going on with them.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I have a question, Travis. Is there any way you can't really feel or tell how someone else is hurts, how bad their pain is. Is there any way that you can get a feel of it, or someone could judge how bad someone else's pain is?
So you're saying, like, if you're looking at somebody and they're, sometimes, somebody, like, they take a step on a stair and they grimace and you're like, wow, that person must have knee pain. You're kind of judging that person based on their pain. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, because of course, I think everybody has pain. Of course, my feeling is the only time you worry about pain, you stop worrying about it. You start worrying about pain when you ain't got none. That's the time you worry about it. We all have pain, but is there any way to judge someone whether pain is good or whether pain is too much or not enough, or too much pain or not?
I think after years of working with people, you'll start to get an understanding of that. But for somebody, just a general person who's, has pain, back pain. But of course, I know clients that have had back pain for 10 to 12 years who are pretty good judges of people that, how bad the levels it is. So I think it's hard to walk in somebody else's shoes. Your back pain might be bad for you, but compared to somebody else's back pain, their back pain might be a lot worse. I don't know if I agree with the statement, though, that everybody's got pain. I think there's aches and pains, and especially as we get over 65, 70, we're going to have little stuff. But I think what you have to worry about is the pain that limits your life. If you're like, I get up in the morning and I can't tie my shoes because my back pain is so bad, well, that's a problem. But if you get up and you're like, man, you know what? I helped my neighbor move yesterday and now my back hurts a little bit, but it goes away in a day or two. Well, that's probably, not serious back pain. But if you're waking up every morning and you're like, I can't walk up my stairs because my knee hurts so bad, that's a problem. And that needs to be addressed, Does that answer that question?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Anything else? Cool.
All right. Thank you, Travis, for being our speaker on such short notice and for all the good informational tips. We can all use those. And I would also remind everyone that we are in need of speakers. We remain in need of speakers. So if you have some suggestions, please connect with Patrick or myself, and we can hopefully get them on the agenda. For next week, we return to in-person once again at the Shelter House at Royal Park at 12 o'clock, our new time. So look forward to that. Dr. Thomas Curran will be speaking from Children's Mercy Research Institute. So that will be exciting. We'll actually have an in-person speaker. So we're slowly getting back. We continue conversations with regard to new forums and where we go from here. So we'll keep you updated on that too. Does anyone have anything else to share before we wrap up? No? All right, let's conclude with reciting our four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill
and better friendships?
Will it be beneficial
to all concerned?
Very good. It was nice to see everyone this week. I hope to see you in person next Monday, and have a nice week.